Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. What I'm doing is I'm stocking up more of my two framers, and what we're doing, we're forcing these into making swarm cells. Now, what this does for you is your production. If you're looking for numbers and you want to build up more colonies, if you remember the last video, it was on a two framer, and this video is also going to be about a two framer. So what we're doing, we've got a number of these that we're stocking up, trying to get it in before the honey flow, because it's actually started slowing down. We're at the end of May, and hadn't been for the drought in the last 2 weeks, we haven't had any rain. It rained yesterday finally. So that can hamper your drought conditions a lot, because it's not nourishing the rain. You're not getting the rain for your blooms and everything, all the nectar flow. So hopefully this little bit of rain will kick it up again a little bit. But what we're doing, this one right here, I had installed one of our mated queens in here 2 days ago, and start off, what we do with these, start off with one frame of bees. Now usually what I do when I start them, this was the original position of the 5-frame nuke. So what I do is I pull out one frame of bees, put it in the 2-framer, put an empty beside it. You can see this has been 2 days, actually 3 days. I'll take that back. This has been 3 days, and they're already starting to draw out this blankets beside it. And all those foragers, the majority of the foragers, will go back to this position right here where the 5-framer was. Okay, being that the 5-framer, I could actually do more splits with it if you choose to, or you want to reduce its numbers to let it grow out a little bit more, you repeat this process if you want to build up bees slowly. And now the 5-framer that we place in another location has one frame less of bees, plus a whole lot of other bees that would be going back in that colony. So we reduced the number of that colony before it had a chance to swarm. You know, one indication is always keep an eye on your drones. You see your drone population starting to go out of control in that colony a little bit on one frame. They usually have little, fist size amounts of drone, but when you get almost a half frame of drones or increase in drones, you'll see it. You'll know when you look at it. You know that is the first thought in their head of swarm mode. And of course, then the second one is swarm cells. But then you're in danger of losing that colony. So keep an eye on them, watch them. The population's heavy. Indication 1, the population is, you'll see too many bees in there. It's easy to recognize. All the frames are covered, everything's drawn out. There's a lot of bees in there, it's packed out. Now with that 5-frame, yes you can, if you want to increase like that by getting queen cells, you can do that. This is quicker because you can do more numbers of them. So what we do, we pull one frame out, and now if we have, there's different ways you can do this. We just, in these two right here, I just put one of our mated queens in. If you want to put a queen cell, a virgin queen, however you like to do it. Now once you get these going, these 2-framers, it's so easy to split them. Keep a close eye on them. When it fills this frame out and those bees start increasing, move this over to another colony. If you want to force it into making queen cells, keep an eye on it, watch it. When it starts getting queen cells, you can cut those queen cells out and stock those in other 2-framers. Now the idea with all this is doing this early in the year, and get those 2-framers built up, because once you start getting more towards dearth and into starting July, you want to slow that down and start increasing these 2-framers back into a 5-framer. And now you can force it, and depending on where you're at in the country, it all depends. You may be able to go later date. But here, just speaking of in North Georgia, Zone 7, that's what I do. Starting July, you know, we'll start moving these back into a 5-frame. Sometimes we do. It just depends on the weather. A lot of times, if it's not extremely hot, we still got an adequate amount of rain. We still got somewhat of a nectar flow going, because the nectar flows come and go throughout the year in small spurts. Not like this big giant one this wave that you see coming in the spring. It's never like that. And then, of course, in the fall, you got your goldenrod that comes in. It's a mediocre, and and we'll talk more about that as the time comes. It's very wishy-washy. It's very wishy-washy with the goldenrod, because you might get adequate amount of rain and get a good flow, or you may get nothing. I've seen both. You can't depend on it. You can't really depend on it. You can't rob all your bees of all your honey and say, well, they'll get plenty in the goldenrod to replace them. That's a big gamble. That's a big gamble, so be careful with that. It might. If you get a good flow, you're good to go. But if not, you're going to starve your bees. And then you'll have to hurry up and emergency feed them. So just be careful with that. It's all a matter of management and practice. But anyway, so I'm talking too much, aren't I? I had too much coffee this morning. Okay. Okay, this right here, they're a little grumpy. Hear how they're buzzing around, hitting me. But look, you know, when I talked about that before, overcast, morning, looks like rain. Rain just had passed yesterday. So it all depends. You know, the bees aren't flying really good yet. It's still early. Our queen is in there. Look at okay, this is one of the frames I pulled out. Look at all the capped brood. Lots of it. Lots of capped brood. She is in there for sure. We'll see if we can spot her real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking for her. You always got to, and keep in mind too, you're looking for the queen. You don't have to spend hours in there because you can't find the queen. Just look for eggs. You find some eggs, I can see a few dotted right there. The camera's probably not going to pick them up. You see eggs in there, you know you got a laying queen. You don't have to keep looking. She's among that there somewhere, or even could be on the side down there. A lot of bees in there. So let me get this back in here. We're going to let this little colony grow out. But anyway, highly recommend these 2-framers. Whether you build yours your own yourself, or you buy them. Like I said, we have these at BarnyardBees.com if you need them. They're made out of pine. Very nice. But also, you can look at any of our videos. We also have the plans to make these. So just depending, you know, if you got lumber, or lumber's so dang expensive now. Going through the roof just like everything else is going expensive. But anyway, that's about it. I'll end the video. Just to give you another idea about these 2-framers and how to use them. Guys, get you some. I don't care if you're a very small 2 or 3 hive beekeeper, you need backup. These give you backup. These give you extra queens. Things that little hives to do splits in. Swarms if you catch them. When it comes to a small swarm, you can't beat these little 2-framers. They're perfect for these little hand-size, double hand-size swarms. So that's about it. Don't forget, folks, please click on the little bell, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.